Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is David Jasso, and I had a mental breakdown. So let's talk about it.
Ain't perfect, but we got a purpose. Living this life, trying to do right. Sure, this life maybe got a few ups and downs with a curve in, but I look at you and it's worth it.
I don't wanna waste another day of life. I hope that in the end I will make it right.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody who sent me a message, a comment, a phone call, a text. I read them all. I try to get back to as many as I can, as much as possible. But y'all really showed that you care for me, and I am forever grateful. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And, I'm going to just jump right into it. So what's going on with me? What happened? Man, I got to tell you, bro, this is probably one of the worst stretches in my life by far. I don't even know where to begin, man. Like, I'm gonna try to get to as much detail as possible of what's really going on. But before I even start, I just want to say I'm good now. I'm fine. I'm cool. My mind is right. I just got back from San Diego. Took a trip out there with my wife, and kind of just reset my mind. I'm good. You know, I promise you, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm I'm getting back to being myself, and these videos, the comedy, everything. I'm doing stand up again. I'll be back on the mic Thursday at Huntington Beach. So if y'all want to catch that, hey, y'all are more than welcome. I'll try to turn this downfall into some jokes, into some comedy. So if y'all have time, hey, the information is in my page. So go ahead and check that out. But how this all started, you know, apparently I've been stressed, depressed, a lot of shit going on my mind, financial situation and everything. My wife quit her job like 2, 3 months ago, and I try to cover as many bills as I can with my income, what I have. Just keep in mind, we have two car payments, man. We got two car notes. We got brand new 2020-21 Kia Sorrentos that we got about a year ago, about a year and a half ago, and together it's about 1,500 bucks to pay those off together. So I've been trying to pay all that stuff together. I've been trying to do as much as I can, the phone bills, and take care of my kids, make sure they're good. I tried everything. At first month was cool. I was able to do it. But then as the days gone by, the stress started picking up, and I'm not the type to talk to anybody, man. I keep everything in. I hold everything in, and I didn't want to worry her. I didn't want to worry her with anything, so I just kept telling her I got it, when in reality I didn't have it, And then she thankfully picked up a new job, but it was still a couple of weeks until she finally got a full paycheck. But we're still months behind with these cars, man. So we're getting phone calls and letters, not repossessed or anything, but it's more, you're getting there type of letters, and I was hiding them, I was stressing. And I wasn't even happy with my job either, man. I wasn't getting paid enough, bro. Like, I felt like for me being in that situation and who I am and the type of work that I felt like I should be getting paid more. But the way that company works, like, it doesn't really matter who you are, they're not going to pay you more. But I was content where I was, man. I was comfortable. That's why I never left. So as the days went by, the weeks, I started thinking, like, I gotta better myself. The comedy wasn't going how I wanted to. I'm not getting paid hundreds to do stand-up. I'm not getting paid hundreds to do these videos. I'm not getting paid hundreds on TikTok. I'm just grinding. I tried Uber Eats, man. I tried Uber Eats for a little bit to try to get that extra income, but that wasn't working out. I didn't see myself being that way. That wasn't me. So, man, anyways, then I started thinking, if you've been following up with my stories, and I mentioned a couple times that I invested all my 20s in trying to become a cop. Didn't matter, mostly sheriff. I tried the sheriffs maybe 3 or 4 times. LAPD, Montebello, Whittier, Fullerton, Fullerton's campus, police, in the university. You know, UCLA, I tried all kinds of departments, man. It just never worked out. So about a month ago, you know, I was like, maybe it's time to try to get back at it, see what happens, you know. So I reapplied for the sheriff's. I went, I passed the written test. It's easy, but it was the physical test. You know, I haven't been working out. You know, I've been eating like garbage. Uh, I didn't pass the physical test, and at that point in time, before everything that really, you know, broke down for me, I was working out, I was eating better. I started working out. You know what? I have 6 months to go back and pass this physical test and move on to the next step. So I was eating good, man. I was eating good, working out and all that stuff, doing what I can to get back into shape. But then, man, like my mind just started, everything just started to fall, bro. Everything just started to fall. This whole downfall just started collapsing. The stress, the depression, everything just started, you know, crumbling, shrinking. And I had an argument with my mom and about she went to go take my daughter to get her hair dyed, you know, behind my back, and nobody asked me or told me about it. And I think that argument kind of just set everything off, just an explosion. My mind just went, bah, it just blew up, man. And I didn't think I was gonna get to a point where I thought I was gonna where I actually got at. Um, Argument probably lasted maybe like an hour or so, you know, and I kind of just got my keys and I took off. I left. It was a Saturday. I left. I was just driving around, you know, trying to gather my thoughts, trying to calm down. But as the hours and the minutes started passing by, when about an hour passed and nobody texted me where I was. Nobody called me to see where I was. 2 hours passed, same thing. The third hour, I was kind of, those emotions kind of got back already. And it started coming back to me. Like, how come nobody's checking up on me? Nobody cares where I'm at, type stuff. So I kind of just pulled over to the side, to a side street away from where I was at my house. Turned off my lights, just started listening to music. And I just started crying, man. I don't know, I just started crying. The emotions started coming up. Uh, I seen a couple cops pass by, so I didn't want them to check up on who I was or anything. So I kind of just took off again. Found another side street and just parked there. 4 or 5 hours later, that's when I finally get my first text from my wife asking me where I was, you know. So my whole mindset was, took you 5 hours to care where I was. That was my whole mindset. It's like, damn, it took you 5 hours to actually see and care where I was. We argued over text, you know. She didn't call me or anything, and I started saying, you know, I don't want to be here no more. You know, suicidal thoughts started running through my mind, bro. And she wasn't really texting in a way that my mind wanted her to, you know. So I kind of stopped the text. I came back home maybe about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just fell asleep. And fast forward to that Sunday, I stood in my room all day. I didn't come out to eat, didn't talk to nobody, nothing, man. And nobody came in to check on me. So again, my mind, same thing. Nobody wanted to talk. Nobody wanted to say anything, man. So maybe I'm gonna say 6, 7 o'clock. That's when I started crying again. And I guess my daughter heard me and she came in and she tried to comfort me. And then the situation, my wife came in and it kind of escalated because we're talking in a way, it wasn't communication, man. It's just kind of still, you know, that residual negative energy still kind of just bottled up into everything. And I felt like I was being blamed for everything that's happened, you know, over the last few months. So all that negative energy is just building in my mind, bro. Like, I didn't know how to talk to anybody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. And I just felt like I was putting the whole blame to myself. And I'm telling them, you know what? If I'm the problem, then I'm just get rid of the problem. That's why I just kept saying, man, if I'm the problem, I'll just get rid of myself and y'all can live a happy life. And what really got me, man, what really felt more fucked up out of this whole situation was my daughter telling me, like, I need you as a dad, you know, what am I going to do without you? And she's talking to me, trying to, you know, get my mind back together, But I wasn't hearing it, man. I wasn't listening. I was hearing her, but I wasn't listening to her, man. My whole mind just kind of just blocked out everything, man. It blocked out everything. And again, I just got up and I took off. I left, man. I left. And again, nobody called me, nobody texted me, nobody even, I felt like nobody really cared. That's what my mind was at right now, man. Like my mind was, nobody even cares what my mind is going through. Nobody cares what I'm feeling. Nobody cares about anything, man. So I drove again, man. I drove and drove and drove, and again I parked, and maybe 2 3 hours later, again, man, I just, my emotions, everything just came. I just started crying, man. Just started letting all the emotions out, man. And then I started hearing voices, bro. Like the demons in my mind. I just started hearing voices like, you don't belong here, and I didn't know what to do. I really didn't. I was lost. I was confused, man. So I'm hearing these voices, and I'm picturing, um, I'm putting in my mind how I wanted to kill myself. You know, I felt like if I had access to a gun, I probably would have shot myself, but I don't. Um, I felt like if I grabbed a knife, I didn't really want to feel the pain, so I didn't want to stab myself. Uh, I thought about, you know, getting some charcoal and just lighting up my car, or lighting it in my car and just let the fumes just take over. Um, I had all these thoughts just run through my mind, man, but I wanted to get it. I wanted to get it done right away. I wanted it quick, fast. So I started driving on the freeway. On the 57, and I was just punching it. Maybe I was probably going 120, probably as fast as I got, and it was an empty freeway. It was probably maybe 10, 11 o'clock on a Sunday. And man, I punched it up to like 120, and I let the wheel go. I closed my eyes, I let the wheel go, and my mind was whatever happens, happens, you know. And my car has those lane sensors, so once I heard those sensors go off, I kind of just woke up and I took over I was pretty much already, my car was going off the side of the freeway, so I grabbed the wheel and I just, gathered my thoughts, telling myself, like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not gonna go out like this. So I think that was like the closest I got to actually, killing myself. So I gathered my shit together, man, and I pulled off. I got off the freeway and I kind of just drove back towards, home. And again, I parked. And that's when I reached out. I kind of just had a cry for help on social media too, man. And I looked up the number, the suicide hotline, and, for the first time in my life, I called them. They, they're, I don't know, I guess they're just there to kind of calm me down because they didn't really tell me what I wanted to hear. But, they kind of just, told me how much that people love me and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of people that ask me if I have my kids and think about my kids and stuff like that. It really brought me down, brought me back down. But I'm crying, man. I'm crying. And one of you guys reached out to me and said, mention a mental health facility, that they'll help you 24/7. So I drove to one in the city of Industry, which is like 15 minutes from my house. And they checked me in and they're asking all these questions. Man. I'm still crying. I'm crying. So they checked me in and they asked me if I wanted to leave some numbers, and I didn't want to. I didn't want nobody to know where I was, you know. So I didn't leave no numbers with anybody. So they took everything. They pretty much stripped me of my clothes, you know, because I'm not, you know, I had shorts on, you know, basketball shorts, and I had a sweater, and I'm not allowed to have strings, you know, anything, no strings or whatever. So they took all that. I could keep my stuff but take my strings out, but you know, I don't want to do all that. So they put me into scrubs. They took my phone, my keys, my wallet, everything, you know, they locked it up. So I'm in this room now, man. I'm in this room, and there was probably like 3 other people there at the time, but they're asleep. You know, it was already midnight. They're asleep, and I'm looking around my surroundings, like, man, what the fuck did I just get? What the fuck did I just get myself into? You know. And it took me a while to fall asleep because I'm sitting there. You know, it's like a recliner chair. You know, and I'm looking up at the. I'm just looking up at the wall, and I'm crying, man. I'm just crying. I'm crying. And I don't know, though. I didn't like that place, man, because I felt like I was in prison. You know, I had to ask for everything. I had to ask for water. I had to ask for food. I had to ask for all that shit that I'm, you know, not used to. You know, I had to ask to use the restrooms that I have them locked up. And I didn't like that. I was in there for 2 days, man. The following day was a Monday. That's when the first doctor came in, and they talked to me privately. And same thing, they're asking me questions, and I'm crying, I'm crying, and they're asking me like if I still have suicidal thoughts, and what did I do? Have I thought about it? Have I attempted it? And I told them, yeah, last night, you know, I attempted to, you know, drive off the freeway. And the first doctor kind of came to a conclusion that I'm a danger to myself, so they put me on a hold. I couldn't go home as much as I wanted to, you know, and they were looking for other hospitals to you pretty much transfer me to. So they took off, and again, I'm there all Monday, still thinking. Like I said, it's hell, bro, because the people that work there, you know, inconsiderate. I'm trying to sleep, and they're out there loud, laughing, loud as fuck, you know, and I didn't like it. And that's when I kind of just started thinking, like, you know what? Call my wife, call my mom, let them know where I'm at. So all through Monday, my wife is calling me, my mom is calling me, and I'm crying over the phone. They're crying and all that stuff, and they're telling me, you know, they didn't think the situation was that bad, you know. So we're talking, actually talking, and that kind of helped me out, you know. So once I got done talking to them, you know, I still started gathering my mind, and I'm looking around, and I'm seeing how bad the other people were in there. You know, they had real mental issues. You know, they had real problems. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't have these problems, man. I'm not like them. You know, I'm smart enough to know where I'm at. I'm smart enough to gather my own thoughts, you know. So I kind of want to be evaluated, you know. So I spoke to a doctor. The next morning was a Tuesday. Spoke to another one, and I talked to her. You know what? It was just a moment of weakness for myself, and it was a mental lapse. You know, my mind just crumbled, everything. But once I talked to my family, you know, I felt fine. I felt good. You know, we're on the right track. I just need to communicate more. You know, I let everything build up, and I didn't communicate. And the second doctor, you know, asked me if I wanted to be on, you know, on medication. And I said, no, I don't need medication. I'm not, you know, I'm not really depressed or stressing out, or my mental is not at that point, you know. So I rejected all that, but they determined I was good enough to leave, you know. So they checked me out, and came home. I was happy, and I talked to my wife. I talked to my mom, and kind of just brought everything back together, you know. Just communication wise, everything just came back together, and I felt good. And just to find out, you know, then I get fired from my job. But at this point, you know, I'm back to normal. As you can say, my mind is back. And I didn't let my job letting me go kind of affect me. So now I'm at a point where I'm just trying to evaluate things, what my situation is, what my next move, what I could do. And I know I haven't been myself, and I know comedy. You know, comedy is king. It's what I stand for, man. No matter the situation, if I can make myself laugh, that's gonna heal my wounds. You know, if I can make people laugh, it's gonna heal all wounds. That's why I started comedy is king. That's why I gotta take my own, you know, my own saying and just run with it. And you know, I wasn't sure if I wanted to speak up on it, but you know, more people need to speak up, man. More people need to express themselves, let those emotions go. If it's with family, with social media, with peers, whatever, talk to somebody, man. Don't get to the point where I was, because it sucks. It's not worth it, man. Like, I was real close to not even being here. But, you know, with everything just came together, the glue, you know, just talking to God and let Him guide me back to where I need to be. You know, mental health is real, man. Mental health is real, and I don't feel like enough people speak up on it. So I have a platform and I'm speaking on it, and there's help and resources there, man. You know, there a lot of people do care about you no matter what. I found that out the hard way. Strangers on social media, close friends, my inner circle, my family, you know, everybody cared. Everybody came together and showed how much y'all really cared about me, and it meant the world, man. It really brought everything together, and now I'm good. You know, my mind is right. I'm healthy. I'm straight. You know, I don't have no thoughts of anything no more. But the only thoughts I have now is just what's gonna be my next move. You know, what's gonna be my next video. How am I gonna do things? And I have, you know, a whole life to live still, man. And I'm glad I'm still here to share my story with anybody that needs to hear it. You know, we're gonna go through rough times. Times get tough. No matter how hard things get, you know, reach out to people, man. You're not in it alone. Uh, you're gonna feel like you know, you're in a, you're sinking in the sand. You know, you're sinking in quicksand. There you go. You feel like you're sinking in quicksand and you don't know how to get out. But as soon as you reach out to somebody, they're gonna help pull you out. And that's pretty much, that was my situation. I was sinking and sinking, and I was seeking for help. But the moment I reached out my hand, you know, everybody started picking me up. You know, everybody started picking me up. So that's pretty much everything that happened, man. And again, I appreciate everybody that reached out to me. I appreciate y'all listening, sticking around, and being by my side through the tough and the hard times and the good times. You know, life is a roller coaster, but just buckle up, because it's gonna be a long ride no matter what. And as the old saying goes, it always storms before the rainbow. You know, so just ride that storm, and you'll see the rainbow as soon as that line shine, or as soon as that light shines. So my name is David Jasso. I appreciate y'all, and I'll be back stronger than ever. Take care of yourself. Look for those resources. Y'all need me, reach out to me. I've been through it. I'll talk to you, and we'll go from there. Peace. Much love to everybody. Comedy is king. I'll be back. David Jasso. Love y'all.